So, uh, what I would like to ask you to do is to tell each other about your business of yourself and when did you start, how long has it been, and basically, um, this is the first time you are disclosing your business of yourself to another person formally. True or false, Alec?
Um, the first time I'm disclosing the entirety of it, anyway.
Very good. But do it in a few minutes, high level, at first.
With formality.
Yes. So who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay. And I will be in and out because I want to double check the camera and everything while you guys are doing that, okay?
Super. All right. Well, to put myself point blank and simple, my business of the self is my IDP. And since I've been developing my business of the self, I realize now that I can see other people's IDPs or lack of. And at the same time, I notice when I'm accidentally or purposely in someone else's department. And I usually notice it at work because that's where most of my experiences are going. So when I'm at work, I see myself asking questions about what they need and what their goals are and what they want. And a lot of it is working in their dreams department. So I notice that because I'm working in people's, and it might be a small dream, not their overall dream, I do get to talk to some people that their overall dream is like building houses and renting them out. And then smaller dreams like, I want to build this pond and whatnot. So it makes me realize that I can orientate my conversation to be beneficial for both of us so that one, they're talking about their dream or their career or their health, and I can also be talking about my dream or career or health department. So for example, there was a customer the other day that was great at talking and disclosing information, reciprocating what I had to say, and really was in full effect with respecting me. And I felt at ease with talking with her and disclosing information. So after a while, I started realizing that she said, I'm a psychology teacher, I'm a psychology professor, I'm a doctor. I was like, oh man, this woman's pretty interesting. So I started maneuvering the conversation so that I could talk to her about the things I wanted to do and see if she could help me. And I was blown away by how consequential the conversation became, because now me and her are going to be reviewing each other's work. And we're going to review it based on the differences that our books can be doing for our culture.
Hey, Alec, tell me a little bit about your dreams department in 1 or 2 sentences.
Okay. Yeah, it's better now. Anyway, to actually answer that question, so you said my dreams department? I was gonna do the whole hardcore thing. Did you want me to do all of hardcore or just the dreams department?
Where you feel comfortable with starting about the business of yourself.
Okay, so to the viewers, for anyone who doesn't know, there is a concept in female slang known as hardcore. If you take the word hardcore and remove the vowels, you end up with HRDCR, which is an acronym for the 5 units of the business of the self.
Live departments.
Sorry?
Live departments.
Sorry?
The 5 units are called live departments.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually, hold on. I just so happen to be writing about this specific part in a book about female slang, so let me put that down.
Very good for Vera.
And viewers, for all of you that haven't yet watched some of the previous videos, Vera 1 is a project that Alec and Jefferson have been working on. Alec's been spearheading this book with the idea of explaining what perspective. And in our nomenclature, respect, that means no interference.
You said LIVE units?
LIFE.
Oh, F.
Alec, what do you think about that? Life departments, like.
Oh, well, yeah, like I said, I mean, they're very useful, like, in the same way that, someone might, display respect, as in knowing someone's ideals and not interfering with them, without knowing Sumo slang. I could easily do each and every one of these in a good way, without being aware of them. But by learning about them, like with respect, knowing how to do all of those things deliberately and being able to go as far as for something like love, which has 4 necessary things to execute to do it properly. Being able to pick apart what I'm doing right and wrong helps to, in the end, come out more effective in what I've been trying to accomplish.
Ooh, I love that. I love the 2 words that stuck out to me just now was deliberate and effective.
I know deliberate is in the Sumo slang database. I don't know about effective, but it sounds like it is.
I would put money on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, what's effective? Do you know?
I have to look up.
Cool. Well, that's why we have the database. And Alec, I rock with you saying deliberate and effective because when I'm learning how to cater to myself and become my ideal person, and I deliberate what I want to do with all my time, I feel like I'm much more effective in becoming who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And by using by sectioning myself out in 5 ways, then I always know how to work on myself. Oh, cool. Nick pulled it up. Effectiveness. That means intended result. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're being effective, you're accomplishing something with wanting a result. So effectively, you get the desired result.
Okay.
Anyway, to stop explaining the concepts for first-time viewers or people who haven't seen much of us, and to get to the answer, for health, before social distancing, I'd often jog. I haven't been able to do that as much, especially with my parents not wanting me leaving the house. But I get in jogs occasionally. I'm a decent negotiator. I got one in today before it started raining.
Nice.
For relations, that's definitely been the most important part to conquer. I noticed how distant and how breakable a lot of relations I had were, and over time, over several months actually, at this point, I've remedied that to a great extent. For my dreams department, one of the biggest dreams I have is since I work in the realm of fiction, I'd like to have works, or at least the outcomes of them, like the messages, moral or otherwise, that they have in them, or the styles that they are written in, to be carried on past me. For career, I'm pretty sure you figured it out based on that, would be I want to be a writer, or at least a storyteller. Not necessarily through writing books. I'm trying to expand to other mediums. You may have heard of the Kingmaker comic project. There's a Facebook page. I didn't even know.
What? Kingmaker Project is on Facebook?
I didn't even know.
No kidding.
Anyway, and the last one is retirement. That's really the only one I haven't thought too much about. I'm sure that's understandable considering I'm 17. I'm not thinking about where I'm going to end the whole path of my job. Sort of with a lot of things that I go with, I've been just seeing where it takes me. Maybe that outcome will come to me eventually.
But thank you very much. And Norman, would you like to do a comparison objective comparison, no interpretation. Objective comparison between the way he presented his business of the self and the way you did it.
An objective comparison on Alec, how you displayed your business of the self compared to mine is I talked about one department because it was the department I find myself thinking about the most. And you talked about your departments and gave an example one at a time of each. And you talked about your dreams department and your career department more heavily. It sounds like since you spoke about them more, you gave more details about them, and I was able to create more of an interpretation of who you are. And because you had little to say about your last department, I understand that that's something you don't really think about normally.
Yeah.
In comparison to how I said it, I didn't lay out my departments like you because I said only one department and I didn't have a focus on how to talk about the departments.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not really anything I can add. You just laid it out.
What department did you display?
I spoke of my dreams department.
Why did you not speak of the other departments in your business of the self?
I was thinking that the dreams department was a good place to start, and I hold the dreams department very highly, I would think, in regards to the rest of them. So
Understandable.
I started with the biggest one in my mind.
What I heard from Alex is a very powerful statement, and I would like to remind viewers and Norman of what he said that is powerful.
What's that?
You can discharge. It's not the exact quote. I'm just paraphrasing. You can discharge the power of tumor slang without using tumor slang terminology. Did I paraphrase correctly?
Yeah, pretty much. What I'm saying, I think that's one of the reasons Sumo slang is a good sell when you look into it, is because a lot of the things like not interfering with ideals are things that people are wanting to love, or things that we do anyway. Sumo slang is just here's the best mechanism so as to do that.
And because Alex is versed in tumor slang more than many, and that's why he's able to present himself completely by walking us through the 5 departments. And I think that that's how people in a circle can take turn to answer the question, how would you introduce yourself to the group, a brand new group?
Wow, that's powerful. Because just like you said, and Alec, just like you said, by speaking about the 5 pieces of what make the self, the life departments, then there will never be confusion about who I am.
Exactly. And I think that this is this magic of or power of tumor slang is something that many of us do not realize explicitly. But tumor slang is at its best when you don't talk about while discharging its power.
It's like shouldn't need to explain the punchline of a joke.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotta use words there.
So, Norman, would you like to try again? And
I would love to. Yes, please. I am so ready to talk about my left apartments. So, Alex, to tell you how I'm hardcore, I'll start with my health department, which, sir, I have taken upon myself to cut out dehydrating foods. I realize that a lot of the, dehydrating foods, such as sodium, sugar, carbs, and a lot of things that absorb water. So I changed my diet within my health department.
Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, you're all good, dude. As well as been drinking more water, been dieting a little bit better with more vegetables. Like I'm eating a lot of carrots all the time so I can see better. Moving on to my relations department, I feel my relations are much more fruitful because of Thuma Slang. I'm now able to ask people and talk to people about what their interests are, and because of that, I feel a little bit better connected with them, as well as I now know how to include somebody in my life, and in that way, my relations are adding up in my relationships. So, where one of my friends, Amber, and I, we just really hang out, and we'll go party or go dance our heads off. But then I have a friend like Jerison where we have dance and party, but I'll add another relation of book writing, another relation of we're going to be rock climbing buddies, another relation of we're going to be roommates, another relation of we cook together. So we also share a health department, and I see my relations department spilling into things very fluidly. As for my dreams department, that came out of me first because that's what I am shaping the most at the moment. I understand my health and my relations much easier than what I want to be, what my ultimate ideal is in life. So I've been speaking with you in objective terms about what is stunting my growth and how to get over it using objective questioning and collaboration. And collaboration, that means joint intellectual effort.
very good.
And because I'm working in my dreams department, I am now learning how many notions I have put myself into. Without collaborating, they're just my own ideas that I've created. And what I'm saying now comes from a conversation that we had. So I feel okay talking about it. Whereas before, I was really coming up with my own questions and my own answers. So I would put myself in this merry-go-round that kept me in the same place. And I feel like I'm growing a lot because I'm not BSing myself. Going into my career department feels great because Lowe's is becoming so fruitful for me. Using the other 3 departments that we just talked about, I feel like I could talk to people a little bit better. I could talk to customers and feel humane with them. I can feel like I'm also being a customer service associate. I feel like, well, objectively speaking, I am helping the customers get to their project by showing them what tools they need and asking questions like straight objective questions. None come to mind right now. So my career has been also something I'm noticing I want to change because right now, Lowe's and construction is just fueling my spare time, my time that is not at work. So I'm realizing that I want to have a job that is in line with my dreams so that I'm gonna eventually get paid to be doing my dreams.
Yes.
And that leads into my retirement department quite naturally because the only thing I have really related to my retirement department is my 401k.
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of stocks that I have, which is long-term stuff. So I haven't actually worked on what my life will be in the far future. But I know that by working on my career department heavier, that both my dreams and my retirement are going to grow. So I'm realizing I need to put more time into that department to be ready for the future. And for my own sanity, I'm going to look up
What?
retirement department. Retirement. That means beyond career.